this late night reading. Okay, I get some messages here from some of these decks we didn't get to use yet today. Bling. Somebody may be interested in some bling. You may like to wear bling. You may be blinging out something. Back in the day, we call that, bedazzling, but some people are into jewelry. Okay, this is definitely giving jewelry. Okay, next card. Oh, glitz. Perfect to go with bling. So, somebody else's too much is your just enough, right? Or maybe you're somebody who never really got into that before, but you can carry it. You can pull it off. You know what I mean? So, for it might look really glitzy as compared to, say, what you're used to. Okay. Let's do one more here. Okay, logic. Okay. Um, there could be something you need to pay attention to. Okay. Yeah. And I got boots here. So, and these are the boots that'll, kick somebody's booty out the door that's not cooperating, right? Although, you might have to get the law to do that, right, these days. But, you know how it is. Anyway. But like I was saying earlier, you know, if you're from a different country or something and you came to the United States, not every part of the United States is the same. There's different rules and regulations depending on where you go, right? And some folks are a little bit more shoot from the hip than other areas are, where people are very like by the book. Okay, so yeah, I don't think you're going to be overwhelmed by this bling, and it's not like this isn't something you couldn't go out and do for yourself if you like really wanted to, collective, or maybe it's not, but like it's something close to like if you wanted to make it one of your goals, you would achieve it, right? But maybe it's just not been on your priority list right now. Okay. um, like my example today, going through my roofing estimates. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I found one today that made me very happy, and I was like, yes, this is the good news that I needed. All right, so please do be kind to others in the chat so you don't get blocked, okay? Um, and because right now we don't have any moderators in there per se, right? So everyone try to behave yourself. Although, we are in Cancer season, so, sometimes in the heat we can get snappy, we can get crabby. We also can, put our guards up and just like, you know what? I'm not dealing with you. And we retreat to our little cave, right? Look at this. You see how it went dark there for a second? Okay, so this might be a sign for you as well that again, you might have opportunities to do this glitzy stuff, but you're going to use logic in the situation as well. So it's like you're not trying to like overplay your hand, I guess is what I want to say. You're not out here trying to live above your means and keeping up with the Joneses and well, if I don't post every so many days on whatever platform, blah blah blah, right? Okay. Again, use your brain here. What's your logic saying in that moment? Okay. All right. So let's get into. Mm-hmm. Trying to find my. They're kind of smushed in here. Oh, is that them over here? My romance angels. Okay. I did just do a love reading the other day specific for Cancer. It was a bonus for them. Okay. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a love reading, but I am going to put these romance angels, all right, because, you know, the thing about like achieving our goals and stuff is like the days of summer are long and longer so that we can kind of sit back and relax for a minute, like I was vacuuming, and I have the dog and the dog hair, you know what I mean, but it's like in the summertime it's just something that doesn't get done as often as like in the winter when there's nothing to do outside. Do you know what I'm saying? Like life's about balance. So, pick what you're going to be uptight about. All right, folks. So, use use some logic when it comes to that. All right. Um and if for some reason you're not partnered right now, you could be upset about that, but at the same time, you don't want to be miserable with the wrong person. So, count your blessings. Okay, just saying. And just because somebody else is out there flashing that bling around, if you watch my previous reading, well, it was the reading before, right before, I was talking about the guy that was like worried about, the ring being big enough on. I was like, okay. Anyway, so like what does logic tell you in that situation? Oh my God, I saw that. What is that? Just it's some game show. It's called like Wall to Wall, and it was like a mirror. It was a couple that's engaged. I don't know what they chose. If they chose the guaranteed money or what she ended up winning, because what she ended up winning was like a lot more. But it was just like the whole setup just gave me like a creepy, weird feeling because it's like trying to set you up for disappointment that if your partner didn't just happen to choose this, rather large sum of money, which, but then it's like, or, then they're going to like take that personally. And it's like, of course you don't want to hurt their feelings or anything, but that would be like a natural, responsive thing like, oh, you almost had it. You know what I mean? But, so just the whole setup was just kind of, I don't know. It's just that's just the kind of thing where it's just like just gotta be careful with stuff like that. And just the way he was talking about like all the expectations that would come with winning a large sum of money, and it was just like, oh my God, he's putting way too much pressure on this situation. So, I mean, collective, it's like, yeah, you can glitz it up, you can go do this, you can go do that, but sometimes that comes with a lot of other responsibility too, right? You got to carry insurance on such and such. You got to show up at this party to blah, 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 to be still be a member. You got to, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and, your time is very precious, is it not? Manifest wisely. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you spending your time on? Use your logic. Where's your head at when it comes to that? And I get it. Now when well, the solstice is past, so now the days are going to start to go into the opposite direction. But in terms of the daylight that's accessible to us, so as that starts to dial back, right? And if you do have to recede into a cocoon of some sort, which is very easily thought of with like the hermit crab, right? Okay, so you might have some Virgo in your chart as well, whoever this reading is for. I've been picking up a lot of fall energy recently. I don't know what it is, like, but maybe it's just because we had this heat wave and it was just like, oh my God, like dial it back. And then thinking, like, oh, we'll be so right? Like happy when we break out of that hard heat, you know? So, but my tomato plant's living. So, you know what I mean? I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, let's see here. Wedding, the situation involves marriage. Okay, so this bling could literally be a ring, like a proposal type deal. So if you're shopping, right, maybe that's the type of bling that you're shopping for, or maybe it's for somebody that you are married to, like maybe you're getting them a tennis bracelet or some earrings, or some people do like hair clips, and you know what I mean. There's all sorts of different ways that people use jewelry to decorate themselves. Okay. Retreat. Okay, it's time to disconnect from the world. So I feel like exactly, it's like, oh yeah, somebody could be like, oh, are you gonna go on a big honeymoon? Are you gonna do this, blah, blah. And you're probably like, you know what I mean? Like, do you ever see you ever talk to the couple after, or see the couple at the day after the wedding? They're just like exhausted. And they're just like, we just want to take a nap. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe you do the whole hullabaloo or whatever, but that retreat time is going to be really important. Okay, for whoever here, no matter what you have to show up for in terms of an event, when it comes to this. Okay, but again, don't throw logic out the window. Like when that couple was talking about that sum of money, and then they're like, "Oh, we can afford to get married," and I'm thinking like, okay, well, how much were they planning on spending on that wedding? Because it's like you can spend a lot of money on weddings these days, but you know. And then she said like, oh, we could get a house and blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, now you're thinking about like, because the wedding's only like one day. Like a house or something that's. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that's the better investment here, folks. That's using your logic, okay? Using your little bean counter brain. Okay. Attraction. You attract romantic love, enjoying this moment fully. Yeah. It's like there's so many people out there that are just like, take care of me, take care of me. Well, collective, what you're attracted to is somebody who can help take care of themselves, can maybe pitch in with what you're working on. Like, you don't have to explain it to them like they're a child that's never, you know what I mean, had to like do anything before. You're attracted to that independent spirit, to that, you're not looking for some damsel in distress. And if you see some of these videos of some of these females, how they act around some of these men. Men love the damsel in distress. These a lot of this is just acting anyway. It's not like they're actually in distress. Okay. So, big surprise when the whole thing goes down the tubes and, the sham is revealed, right? So, again, use your logic and think about what you're actually attracted to. Okay. Because here she's like smelling this rose, she's enjoying life. Okay. So, romantic love, enjoying this moment fully. Okay. Yeah. Smelling like a rose. That's so crazy because I just bought these rose palm leaf wraps for my cannabis products, which it's like a natural, and it's actually like made from rose petals and stuff. And she's definitely looks like she's smelling a rose bush here. Hopefully I can do that tomorrow. Maybe get some more flowers. I don't know. Anyway, not all my flowers came up, so I was a little bummed, and I totally forgot to pick some up on the way home. So anyway, let's do some tarot here. Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna stick with the ethereal visions deck on this one. And some of you could be like, that's not my situation, blah blah. Okay, that's fine. Maybe this is happening to one of your coworkers. Maybe it's happening to a relative. Maybe it's happening to, the neighbor across the street, right? It's like, when this is happening in your energy, it's like, um, we can all, bask in the benefits when we tune into that higher frequency of ourselves, right? Is what I want to say. Okay. Yeah. Three of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is definitely somebody you want to partner with, somebody you want to work with. Okay. Maybe you met this person through work. I am kind of hearing workplace affair. Okay. Um, so I don't know that this was because, like, you know, like inappropriate or anything, but it might have been kind of like keeping it more secretive because it was a work situation. You know what I mean? It was just, just something like that. Because, like, you weren't sure if it was going to work or not, right? But, like, I've worked with a lot of couples that seemingly it's like, wow, you guys don't get tired of seeing each other at work. Um, you know what I mean? The Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, talk about work. Um, and this was, retreating. So, if you've been working hard towards this collective, you're going to get your time. Like, maybe you're not sure if, like, your vacation time is going to get approved or whatever it is, but it's going, like, this is going to work out. Okay. All right. I'm also hearing job change if somebody has recently been facing like layoffs or whatever. Okay. That you're going to find something that's going to fulfill that void, at least for the time being, type thing. Okay. Yeah, but look at that, Four of Wands. I mean, so I feel like collective, whatever it ends up being, once you let go of, other people's expectations and tap into like what works for you here, and using your logic, you're going to see that this is actually very fulfilling. Okay. And it's going to attract you to the right type of people and places and things that you want to be interacting with. Okay, so yeah, Knight of Pentacles, slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, this literally says let go of control issues. So yeah, it's one of these things where, yeah, using your logic, just remember, Rome was not built in a day. Okay, so and if you want something that's actually built to last collective, then, maybe it's going to take a few days. Maybe it's going to take a few weeks. Maybe it's going to take a few months. If you haven't even met your person yet, right? Which many of us have not, then why would you expect this situation to, change so dramatically, right? Within 3 days. All right. I'm just saying, keeping realistic expectations of yourself, okay, and the situation is going to prevent you, I think, from kicking yourself, um, or stubbing your toe type thing. Like, listening to the universe and just taking your time with it, it's going to give you a little bit of protective, you know, yeah, pressure here. It's gonna protect you from this pressure. Okay. So if something fell on your little toe, you're gonna be like, oh, it's okay, I got my boots on. Like, it's You know, it's like when somebody steps on your toe and you're dancing or something. It's not like a huge deal. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I think that's all we have for this evening. So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.